You don't know the effort the person puts into the business to get there. Some people actually begged. Some people gave their properties on collateral basis. Please, just for a particular period of time, I would, if I don't return the money, you can take my house. So if that person is going through all that, and someone's bringing task again, how do you want the person to survive?
Thank you very much. That's a very big question. Yes, it's Business 24 on IBrandTV, and we're going to take a breather here. I'll be right back to continue from where we stopped. Stay with us. You're welcome back to Business 24 on IBrandTV. And our primary focus today is SMEs in Nigeria. And we're examining the numerous issues that this industry faces, as well as the potential that lies ahead. The creator of the Royal Needs Designs Academy, Winifred Olaleye, is still with me. We're still on it.
Sure.
Now, let's talk about the efforts the federal government has been making about promoting goods and services that are locally made or that are made here in Nigeria. Number one question is, are they doing enough? Whether they are doing or not, enlighten us in this very aspect.
Okay. The federal government is actually doing, will I say enough? They're trying to encourage made in Nigeria goods. I don't know if you hear
exportation.
Exportation,
not goods.
They always say buy made in Nigeria, and then they also help to advertise or showcase some SMEs,
okay,
in especially on their own, on the nationwide television. That's in other stations. You know the stations I'm talking about. So they take their time, they go around, I think most of the time, rural areas, to bring out those NMSMEs to showcase what they have, what they can make, or to tell their story, to encourage somebody out there to do something. So in that way, they're helping to advertise the MSME and also encourage people to buy made in Nigeria goods. There was a time I was watching on television.
Okay.
I saw this leather shoe. It was made in Aba.
Made in Aba, okay, okay.
Made in Aba. So I wondered why they had to show that. Well, I had to think back. Everybody's buying Italian shoes and belts and all that. But now the cost of buying those things, I'm sure
is out of this world. Yeah.
Is out of this world. Your belts and all your leather stuffs is really expensive.
It's like you were looking at the very solid belt I'm wearing. It's not locally made,
So
but that's another question I would have loved you to throw some light on. What is the quality of these made in Nigeria goods? Are they
actually of very good quality? They are of good quality because the materials, they source these materials from abroad. Even though now some of them are sourcing materials here, locally made materials. Fine, you can't compare, but that does not mean they are not durable. They are very durable and they are less expensive. So if you're considerate or if you're wise, let me put it that way, you're wise and you have to save in this period, in this dispensation, you know that you have to patronize made in Nigeria good. You don't need the government to tell you that if you want to buy belts now, you should buy made in Nigeria because of the cost of importing it alone. The importer will add the cost of transportation, and before you know it, the cost of buying one belt, you can buy 3 belts here in Nigeria, a good quality.
Now, see, I want to tell you something. Nigerians do not believe that products and services available in Nigeria or made here in Nigeria are as high in quality as those done abroad. Okay?
That's true.
And because of that thought or belief, they would hardly patronize made in Nigeria goods. They would rather want to travel or ask anybody there when coming back to the country to get them such products or stuff. What can one do to convince them that made in Nigeria goods are as good if not better at times, than those. Because I remember there is this electric wire.
Okay.
That is superior. That's made in Nigeria. That is superior to the foreign ones. Even the marketers, those who sell these things in the market, will tell you when you go there, the one made in Nigeria is more expensive than
the one abroad.
Can the same thing be said of some other products? What can one do to convince those who believe that, or who do not believe that made in Nigeria goods are good in quality, good enough in quality?
Well, you might not be able to convince everybody. That's the fact.
Okay.
Because no matter how much you try to convince some people, they just are of the opinion that this is better, you know, until they have to use it themselves. Well, you just have to keep talking about it and keep advertising. You that have patronized them, tell word of mouth. Tell, I use this and this is it. So you just have to keep advertising, telling people that this made in Nigeria is of good quality. Is like on my own side, this the fabrics I make for myself, the clothing I make,
are high in quality.
They are high in quality. Yes.
How do you source the raw materials?
Yes, I source them from here in Nigeria. I also source from abroad, depending on what the customer wants. You know, so there are some customers that will always say.
So what role are you playing when the customer insists on getting the raw materials, say from abroad? What do you do to convince the person that the ones down here? Yes.
Well, for me,
because they say charity begins at home.
Yes, I always encourage them to do made in Nigeria, because even getting those things, it's a hard task. So I try to showcase what it looks like, what the products looks like after we use the made in Nigeria materials, and what it looks like when it's there, when it's made in foreign materials. For instance, when you get wool, I use wool to make my own stuff. When you get their wool, once you use it, it gets to a time, if there are errors during the process of production, you can't actually reuse that wool. But if you use the locally made ones, you can reuse if you make some mistakes during the process of your production. So the customer may not want to hear all that too. So, but you just keep showcasing the made in Nigeria, keep preaching it, keep using it, and let them notice that this woman is actually serious. So this thing is actually looking out, coming out nice.
Until eventually the person buys and uses it. So the taste of the pudding is in the eating.
Exactly.
I like that. Now, exchange of foreign exchange crisis has no doubt forced some entrepreneurs out of business. What are you saying about this?
This is really sad. I almost fell into that when some of my customers then were, if it's not foreign wool, I'm not doing. I had to start looking out for customers that understand the current situation of the economy. I had to start looking out. I had to start going to schools, because I make sweaters for schools. I had to start looking for schools in my own locality. I didn't have to go to those that were far away like I used to do. So you have to look out for people that are close by. You don't have to look far. That's what I have to say to people that in the kind of business I do, or any other business. Look for people that you can meet their needs within a short period of time. You can give them the taste they want. Those ones will also refer you. You know, we have this thing they call class.
Okay.
Your friend, you referred Mr. A, you did something for Mr. A. Mr. A has a friend. His friend definitely is in the same class with him, so he will patronize you.
No, we're talking about foreign exchange now, because, for instance, there is no way you can buy things from abroad using there's the Naira, for instance. It has to be brought in dollars or something. Okay, so how sourcing this foreign exchange, sourcing this dollar, for instance, is a very difficult one. So, and many business owners are either closing shop or being discouraged from continuing. Okay, they can address that by not doing only one kind of business. You have to explore other businesses, explore your ideas. Yes. This is not the time in Nigeria anymore that you just focus on one business and say, this is the only thing I know how to do. You have to think out of your box, like people usually say. Don't sit on one business and say, this is the only thing I'm good at. You need to
look for something else to add to that. Otherwise, you just...
And that, you mean that dream will just
your
die
dream will
that
just
way?
die.
And,
no,
and it doesn't matter?
No, you don't have to close down. You won't close down, but you need something to buttress it. This is not going to be like this forever. The current situation of high dollar and versus the naira is not going to be like this forever.
But it's been here for a while.
Yes, it's been here for a while, but we are hoping that we'll see a change when the new government comes in.
Is it hoping against hope?
No, it's not hoping against hope. We are hopeful. You know, Nigerians, we are good at hoping, and I'm also, I hope a lot, and it will still come to play. We are hoping that things would be corrected.
All right. Now, what are some of the suggestions you would profile, you know, for companies to thrive in the present situation of things? Very briefly, because we are rounding off.
Okay, for companies to thrive with the current economic situation,
yes,
you have to look at things that you have to consider a lot of things.
Okay.
For instance, in this your company, for instance, let me look at it. If you're not having an interview session like this, you know that you have to put off some of the lights. You need to cut down on a lot of things you do. The luxuries, you cut them down. If you usually have 8 staff, I'm sorry, you have to find out what is this person actually doing. You have to redefine people's roles in your organization. I'm sorry, it may affect some people. Some people will have to be what's the word again? Yeah,
you have to lay off.
Lay off. Some people will be laid off, but everybody has to just stand up to make sure that something works for you. So, as a business owner, you should look at those things that are not really necessary, or those things that are consuming more that you can actually do without. For instance, the power, like I said, cost of materials. You know, if you usually travel far by yourself to Onitsha, for instance, from Lagos to Onitsha to go and get those goods, you can look for someone around that actually sells those same things you're going for to save your cost of production, your cost of transportation. So just look around and look at those things that are not necessary, that you don't need.
So no matter how difficult you know the situation is, do not give up.
Don't give up.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
We really appreciate Winifred Olaleye for participating in the program Business 24, and it ends right here and now. Until next time, please be safe, and thank you very much for watching. Michael Nath here.